In 1871, the Great Fire of Chicago leveled the city some 6 square kilometers and left over 100,000 people homeless. This is the story of Horatio Spafford, who had his entire life savings in investment properties around Chicago, completely now destroyed to ashes in the fire. 2 years later, in 1873, he decided to travel with his wife Anna and their 4 children across the Atlantic Ocean to the UK. He wasn't able to join them initially, he was going to come later, so Anna and the 4 kids went across in the SS Ville du Havre. Tragedy struck one night in the Atlantic where another boat collided with the Ville du Havre and it sank. Eventually getting through to the UK, the wife Anna sent a telegram back to Horatio, which read only 2 words: saved alone. You see, the 4 young girls who were on that boat, this is Annie, Maggie, Bessie and Tanetta, they all perished, died at sea. Sensing this tragedy, he should be by his wife's side as soon as possible. Horatio jumped on his own boat and went across the Atlantic, and the captain called him to the bridge to say, this is roughly where the SS Ville du Havre went down, where you lost your daughters. To process his grief, he went back to his cabin and wrote what's now become a famous song. Some of the lines read this: when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. And it's always perplexed me how Horatio could possibly utter those words, it is well with my soul, at the very moment he comes face to face with the tragedy, the loss of his 4 young daughters to this shipwreck. But if I look around at the people in 2020, and from the meanest people to the nicest people, everyone seems to be speaking out of an overflow of what's in the inside. Whatever's on the inside of people is now coming out. And I think as our world is growing more complex, more difficult and darker, we are going to need to dig deep and find what is it on the inside, and is it something sure and solid? Because it seems to me pressure doesn't build whatever's on the inside. Pressure reveals what's already on the inside. So where do you get your hope? How do you build a strong foundation on the inside? Wherever that place is, it's time to double down on it. Because as the external circumstances ramp up around the place, the time has already come for some people, but it's coming for all of us, where we're going to have to learn to say, it's not well with my job, it's not well with my health, it may not be well with my government or my world, but it is well with my soul.